Most of us understand the foolishness of comparison. So let's stop comparing our lives to others and start living our own. Think of some of the drawbacks of comparison. We almost always compare the wrong things. We compare the cars that they have, or the houses they live in, or their paycheck, or their Twitter followers, but none of that really matters in the long run. We tend to compare the worst we know about ourselves with the best we assume in others. Life isn't graded on a curve anyway. The goal of life isn't to live better than 50% of everyone else. The goal of life is to live the best one life that we have in front of us. Comparison, I find, often puts the focus on the wrong person. We can only control ourselves and our decisions and our actions, and so constantly looking at what someone else is doing or what someone else has serves no purpose going forward. So how do we stop comparing ourselves and begin living our own lives instead? I gotta be honest, this is something that I have struggled with and continue to struggle with a lot. Here's some of the steps that I take and have taken to overcome it. Number one, I always call it out when I recognize it. When I find myself comparing myself to another person, I'll try to say it, not out loud to them, but to myself. I'm feeling jealousy, I'm feeling envy, I'm comparing myself again. When I see it and articulate it, it helps me overcome it. Number two, we celebrate who we are. We celebrate our uniqueness. You're a good artist. You're a good business person. You're a faithful husband. You're a good mother. You're a generous soul. You're a good listener. You're a helpful friend. Focus on what you do well. You are unique. The fact is, comparing yourself to any other person will always be like comparing apples to oranges. I try to focus inward on the things that I can control, the things that I do want to foster in my life, like generosity and gratitude and contentment, faith and hope and peace and joy. All of these I find by focusing on my own life and not looking at someone else. So begin spurring those on as best you can. I find it helpful to remember that life isn't a competition, that we're all in this together. We're all trying to live our best lives. We're trying to create the best world and society that we can. And trying to compete all the time doesn't help anybody in the long run. That we're all in this race together. We're all trying to do the best that we can for one another. So encourage others and cheer others on, as opposed to trying to compete with them all of the time. If it helps, sometimes it's helpful to remember that nobody else is perfect. That one Instagram photo or one magazine cover rarely tells the whole story about what might be going on in that person's life, or how much time went into editing or photoshopping that image in the first place. It's important to live an intentional life. Let's be honest about who we are. Let's remember who we want to become, the good we want to be in the world. And as we focus on becoming the best versions of ourselves, we are less inclined to compare ourselves to others. I just look at all these other YouTubers and all the subscribers that they have and how they seem to do this so easily all the time. What? Oh, okay, I'm just so jealous. Why is this so difficult? Man. No. All right. Why?